What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite, and welcome back to Reimagining Manchester United. Today we have Liverpool, the bitter rival in the league, and then Chelsea in the EFL Cup quarterfinal. Should be two pretty tough games. Liverpool have really had our number the last couple times we played them. They beat us 2 games in a row by 2-0 score lines. Hopefully, with Erling Haaland in the team, we can score a goal this time and hopefully beat them. It is away from home, so it'll be difficult. Since we last left you against West Ham and AS Monaco, we carried that Monaco form into Bournemouth game, beat them 6-0. Erling Haaland scoring 4 goals. He is just a monster. He is already the best player in this team by a wide margin, probably. Him, then Bruno Fernandes. I don't know who's third. Maybe Paul Pogba. Pogba's been in pretty good form. Maybe Sula. Sula's been in very good form. We then played Shakhtar, completely rotated the squad, and we were probably the slightly better team, but they scored a 91st minute penalty to win the game. I didn't really care. We already won the group. It didn't matter where we finished or how we finished this game. We were still going to finish top of the group, so I put out the kids and backup players, and none of them really played well other than Andres Pereira, pretty much just because I think he won the penalty or something like that. I don't know if you get good rating for winning the penalty, but he had a good rating that game. Rashford scored the penalty, and he didn't even have a good rating, so Pereira did pretty well. He's the only one. We then played Chelsea, which is a good primer for this upcoming game because we know we can beat them now. We beat them 2-0 in the league away from home, so that was a really good result. We absolutely dominated them. They had one shot all game long. We weren't like insane, but we had like 17 shots, 6 on target, so a very comfortable victory. Team played pretty well. Everyone other than Mason Greenwood, so he kind of got dropped from that game to Tottenham. Actually, no, I started him again in Tottenham. He got dropped for the FA Cup, and he's kind of lost his spot because of the FA Cup. But against Tottenham, it wasn't as close as the scoreline looks. We didn't just beat them 1-0. We absolutely thrashed them. Let's look at the match stats. 26 shots, 10 on target, 2.8 XG, and we only scored 1 goal. We were just not clinical enough. 60% possession. They had 1 shot, 0.09 XG. We absolutely destroyed them. We just couldn't get the goals to show it on the scoreline. We then showed it on the scoreline against Derby County. We played like we should have against QPR. In the FA Cup third round, we absolutely thrashed Derby County 6-0. Marcus Rashford with a hat trick, which will give him the start for this game. Greenwood hasn't been in the best form, so I'm going to give Rashford the shot, considering he's just coming off a hat trick. He played really well. Give him the nod. Donny van de Beek also played amazingly well that game. I think he had like 3 assists, something like that. So he played really well. And speaking of assists, I think in the AS Monaco game, Bruno Fernandes had 4 assists and a goal in that game. I noticed it after the game that he had 4 assists and a goal. He's just disgustingly good. Him and Erling Haaland are the 2 best players on my team by a margin. But we rotated a little bit for the FA Cup third round. We rested Haaland. We rested Kimmich. We rested all of our fullbacks. So rejigged our center backs a little bit. Milan Skriniar played, but everyone else was kind of a backup. So we rotated and we still smashed them. But now we have Liverpool. It's going to be tough. They have our number, but we're in good form. We've got what I think is our strongest squad. Tuanzebe gets a start because of his form. He's been in really good form. So obviously he scored that hat trick last episode. Dodo, Kimmich, and Teo Hernandez. Kimmich has been, complaining to me about first team football. Well, I mean, he's the most average player I've ever seen. I don't want to give him a whole bunch of football, but I don't want to lose him, so I'm going to give him the football he wants, unless he plays like absolute trash. As long as he can keep a 6.8 rating, I'll keep him in the lineup. But if he goes to like a 6.5 like he did last season, I'm going to bench his butt. Teo Hernandez, Fernandes and Paul Pogba, the informed midfield partnership. 7.88 for Paul Pogba, 8.24 for Bruno Fernandes. They've been in amazing form. Rashford coming off the hat trick, and Erling Haaland, who I can't sit for any games because he's scored 19 goals so far. How many league goals does he have? 15 league goals in 9 games. Yeah, he's a little bit good. I think he's worth 134 million. I'm just going to say that. But we've got a strong bench as well, so let's get into the game, see if we can beat Liverpool, win the derby, and get one over on them because we desperately need a win against them. I'm going to pump my fist and say we owe Liverpool after what happened in our last match. Go out there and get revenge. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing I said after our last loss, and it didn't do anything. We lost again, 2-0, but they are inspired now. Let's see if that'll inspire them to a victory. Ryan, it's Derby Day. How much do you look forward to taking on your local rivals? It's always a tremendous occasion, and the atmosphere is something to behold. Hopefully, we can harness the energy and intensity of the day and send the fans home happy. How important has the strong team spirit at Man United been to picking up form? There's a real vibrancy and togetherness about the group. It's an amazing squad. This is going to be a tough game. They've not got the strongest bench. Our on the bench is pretty good. Gabriel Barbosa, Naby Keita, Jonathan Tah. But they've got decent players that can come in and make an impact. Gabriel Barbosa is a pretty good player, and he can play either Salah's position or up top. So they don't have their youngster, what's his name? As Henderson hits it on goal, but gets saved by De Gea. They don't have their youngster, what's his name? The one that played up top last game for him, that I'm pretty sure got a goal against us. I can't think of his name right now, but they don't have him in the team. He must be injured because he's been starting their last couple games at striker over Roberto Firmino. It'll probably come to me, but Firmino gets a shot, but it gets blocked. It's been all Liverpool so far. After 13 minutes, they have had every single highlight. We finally get a highlight here. Dodo with a long throw. Not a very long throw, but with a throw into Pogba, but it gets cleared away, and it looks like it's actually going to be a Liverpool highlight. So even when it looks like we're getting a highlight, it's not actually our highlight. Mane goes through on goal. De Gea with a good save. Huge save for David De Gea. They have absolutely throttled us so far. This is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a much better game from us, but away from home, we're just not nearly as good. As Haaland gets a chance, but it looks like it just went wide. Alisson did get a fingertip to it, so I don't think it was going in. So he kind of gives us a free corner. We can't score from it. That'll be the end of the highlight. 22 minutes, and we still haven't done much. Kimmich doesn't intercept it. It looked like it was going to intercept it, but Henderson gets it back. But Rashford intercepts this one. Tries to put a through ball through to Haaland, but he gets the ball back, and Rashford scores the goal to give us the lead, coming off a hat trick, and he scores a goal, the first goal of the game here against Liverpool. He is a Manchester lad, I'm pretty sure, so he's got a little bit of extra motivation for this rivalry. Great interception, and he just tries to pass it through, but it falls kindly back to him. That's a pretty fortuitous goal, but I'll take it. We need every break we can get against Liverpool. If we can win today, that puts us 7 points clear with a game in hand. So we could actually go really far top of the league. That is huge. This win would be absolutely huge to the title race. Like, if we can keep this going, keep our winning streak going in the Premier League. We still haven't lost or drawn a game in the Premier League. Our only loss came in the Champions League, which we completely rotated for. I'm going to say, don't get complacent out there. Kimmich is demotivated. He's actually played decently well this game, so that's a good thing to see. Fortunately, he's still demotivated, so he's probably going to suck this second half. He's already down to a 6.9 and backed up to a 7. Okay. Liverpool have still been the dominant team in this game. We are very much winning this 2-0, like completely out of nowhere. They have been the better team. We have just snuck 2 goals in, one from a corner. Nicolas Schula, the goal-scoring maestro. When he has the Bruno Fernandes to cross these in, he scores so many more goals than anyone else crossing the ball. And this service by Bruno Fernandes is, bar none, the best in the team. Having him back is huge for us. I'm going to take off Paul Pogba. He's not played well, and he's tired. Going to bring in Donny van de Beek. Haaland's had a surprisingly bad game, as has Dodo, and he's on a yellow, so I'll take Dodo off. Bring on Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to start wasting time. We need to see this game out. Liverpool can easily score 2 goals in 12 minutes, so I'm not going to get too gung-ho about this result so far. As Haaland's breaking away, finds Rashford. Rashford is through on goal, and he chips the keeper. Okay, I think I can be pretty excited about this scoreline now. I don't think they're coming back 3-0 down. Haaland with the breakaway, finds a nice ball through to Rashford, and Rashford scores a brace. Haaland gets an assist. That'll help his rating. Good run by Marcus Rashford. The defender has to be pulled over to Erling Haaland and opens up a huge gap for Rashford to run through. And he finds the back of the net with a little nice chip. And that should be game. 10 minutes left, 3 goals down. I don't think Liverpool are coming back from that. We are going to go 7 points clear with the game in hand And with our form, you have to consider we're probably going to win that game in hand. So 10 points clear at this part of the season is huge. That is a huge lead for where we're at in the season. An absolute amazing start to the season so far. I mean, the start has me thinking, unbeaten season? Invincibles? Maybe. I don't expect it to happen because there's a lot of good teams in this league, and we're probably going to slip up against a team worse than us. It just always happens. I'm going to take Bruno Fernandes off, give him some rest. Brown Pereira. I don't think we're going to get the unbeaten season, especially looking at the match stats for this game. Like, they have 2xG, we have like 0.7, and we're winning 3-0. We are absolutely FMing Liverpool, and I love it. Usually, we're on the opposite end of this, so be on this end of an FMing it's a nice little experience. It's a cool thing to see. Rashford's going to go down, try to get another one, try to get a fourth. He's got Erling Haaland in the middle. He can't find him, though. Virgil van Dijk clears it out, and looks like that's going to be pretty much the end of the highlight, maybe, as Aouar goes running through. Maybe they get one back here, as Aouar goes from long distance, but he's never going to beat De Gea from there. And we are going to see this game out. 10 seconds left. That is how the game will end. We will win 3-0 away from home at Liverpool in the derby. An absolutely fantastic result for us. Puts us 7 points clear, like I said. What a game. Not the most impressive performance. I'm still kind of worried about our performance because we were not good enough. Like, I'm hoping it's just the fact that we're away from home. Because I'm hoping we can look better when we're at home against Liverpool. Because if we do this same kind of performance next time, we're going to get beaten. We're not going to get lucky twice. This is one time out of every 10 games, we're going to get this performance with these kind of results or these kind of match stats. So I'll take the one time we do get it. We kind of pulled it back a little bit towards the end, made it a little bit more respectable, but they still had 2xG to our 1. They still had the possession lead. We just had the 3 goals. They were not clinical. They could not find the back of the net. Firmino and Mane, both with bad games. Alisson with a poor game. Van Dijk with a surprisingly poor game. Salah, they moved to midfield late on. He played poorly, so their main men did not play well for them. Ours did. And I'm very happy with the result and the way you played. You managed to grab the win today against Liverpool. What did you make of the game? It was a great result for all of us, but I'm especially pleased for the fans. We couldn't have done it without them. How do you think the two teams fared against each other from a tactical perspective? I learned a lot, which is a good thing. I'll have to go away and think about how we can react to what unfolded out there. I don't know what I can change to keep us more in the game than we were. I feel like our formation works pretty well. I don't really want to chop and change it just for Liverpool. I don't think going to the 4-2-3-1 is going to help, so I don't really have another option, really. I need to go with this and hope we're the better team on the day. De Gea is the man of the match, an 8.2 rating. I think he made like 10 saves, so what a game from De Gea. Now we've got Chelsea. We've got a game in between against, who are we playing against? Burnley, who are 12th, so we're probably going to lose that game, knowing how we are. We beat Liverpool, then we lose to Burnley. That just about sounds right. So I'll play Burnley, then I'll see you for Chelsea. And we are back on the day of the Chelsea EFL Cup quarterfinal game. You can see by the team news, Chelsea are missing a few pretty important players, and N'Golo Kante is out with a hip injury. He's out another 3 to 6 weeks. And Ben Chilwell is out with a torn hamstring for 6 weeks to 2 months. So they're missing their starting left back and their best midfielder. You could say best midfielder. It's between him and Kovacic. I think Kante is probably better. They do different roles, but that's semantics. In terms of the games, since I last was here, we played, if I can find it, we played Burnley. We beat them 1-0. It wasn't that impressive, but we were the much better team. If we look at the match stats, we had like 3 XG, 17 shots, 9 on target. They didn't have a single shot on target. They barely had any XG. We dominated them. The strikers were just absolutely awful. We went with Greenwood and Martial for this game just to do a little bit of rotation. I want to give all 4 strikers quite a bit of game time, so that's what I went with, and they were not very good. There's also a couple other things I wanted to show you. In terms of the Champions League group stage, we have gotten our next team, but first I'm going to show who made it out of all the groups. If I show all groups, Bayern Munich and Milan made it out of Group A, kind of to be expected. Us and Shakhtar. AS Monaco actually finished 3rd, so they actually, on the last day pretty much, they got the Europa League spot. So they just make it into the Europa League. Benfica and Sociedad make it out of this group. I'd say that's probably kind of to be expected. Between Sociedad, Ajax, and Marseille, any of those really could have gotten out of that group. And it was close between all of them. 3 points between all of them and Sociedad. The expected from Group D, Madrid and Man City. The only question was which was going to be first, which one was going to be second. So, yeah, that's to be expected. Chelsea and Gladbach. Juventus actually go to the Europa League. That is surprising. Gladbach get out of the group. Everyone would have pegged Gladbach for third in that group, but they actually get out over Juventus. That is impressive. Liverpool and Dortmund. That's kind of to be expected. Between Dortmund and Napoli, I think either of those teams could have finished second in that group. Dortmund gets it this time. Liverpool should be the top. They won every single game. 21 goals for, only 5 against. Wow. Chelsea, just looking at this, Chelsea won their group with 15 points with 7 goals for. They scored 7 goals, and yet they won the group with 15 points. That is impressive. They only allowed 3. Compared to us, we scored 28 and allowed 4. So, yeah, we scored a lot more goals than Chelsea did. Group G, Atletico Madrid and PSG. Again, that's to be expected. Just about ordering. They were actually both on 12 points. Let's see. What is it? I guess it's games against, not goal difference. So Atletico Madrid must have beaten PSG. We can see here. They both lost to Atletico Madrid both times. So Atletico Madrid gets through on games played or on head-to-head. And then Barcelona and Inter, again, to be expected. That's probably the expected order for that group. So not very many surprises. Just the Juventus one, really. So not having them in the next stage is pretty surprising. In terms of the next stage, the first knockout round, we got Dortmund. So not the hardest one we could have gotten. We could have gotten PSG, Inter. So Gladbach looked like they're really good. But we get Dortmund. We did play them last year in the group stage, and we beat them both times, I believe. If I go back, we drew with them and then beat them, I think. We drew with them 1-1, then beat them 4-1. So we I think we've got the advantage over Dortmund. Look at the other first knockout round ties. Man City play Benfica. Milan and Barcelona is a huge match because Milan got to the final last year. So that's a big match there. Shakhtar meet Real Madrid. Sociedad and Bayern Munich. Us and Dortmund. Gladbach and Liverpool. Atletico Madrid enters another big one, as well as Chelsea PSG. If Chelsea play like they did in the other group stage matches and only score 7 goals, I don't see them winning that matchup. But they've got a chance. Inter and Atletico Madrid also as well is pretty interesting. So those are the group stage, or those are the first knockout round stage games. We also want to look up the World Cup, because the World Cup did happen while we were gone, and Belgium won it all. They beat France 1-0 in the final. If we look at all the groups, Nigeria and Denmark make it out of Group A. Probably to be expected. Maybe Jamaica could have fought Nigeria, but you would expect Denmark to get out of that group. Portugal and Belgium make it out of their group. That's to be expected. Italy and Mali over Austria and Uruguay. That's pretty surprising. Mali with a good performance finished on the same amount of points as Italy. Scotland finishing top of their group. Brazil going out in the group stage. That is a group of death. Scotland, Mexico, Brazil, Norway. Wow. But Scotland topping the group is surprising. Colombia and USA making it out of their group. USA just barely making it out on goal difference. Germany and South Korea. Argentina finishing bottom of the group with 3 losses against Turkey, South Korea, and Germany. South Korea making it over definitely Argentina, maybe even Turkey is a surprise. Turkey's a sneaky good team in terms of the talent they have. England and Spain making out of their group, beating Japan and Tunisia. That's to be expected. And France and Switzerland beating out Australia and New Zealand in the same group. That's pretty cool. France and Switzerland beat them out in the group stage, though. That's kind of to be expected. Second round saw Belgium beat Nigeria. Portugal beat Denmark. Italy beat Mexico. Mali beat Scotland. So Mali gets to the quarterfinal? That's pretty good. South Korea beats Colombia. Germany only beats the USA on penalties. So poor USA, but that's a hard matchup to get. Imagine getting in the second round and you get drawn Germany. Could have got Scotland, South Korea, Mali, Nigeria, Switzerland, who actually beat England 4-1. Dang.
Switzerland smashed England. England goes out in the second round. That's very disappointing for England. And France win in extra time over Spain. Then the quarterfinals saw Belgium beat Mali. They got the easiest one they could have possibly gotten. Belgium looks like they had kind of an easy run to the final, so far at least. Italy beat Portugal in extra time. France absolutely destroyed South Korea. And Germany beat Switzerland. So in the semifinal, Belgium faced Germany, and they won 3-2. And France absolutely destroyed Italy 5-1. So a pretty star-studded semifinal of the World Cup. In third place playoff, Italy beat Germany. So Italy wins third place. But in the final, like we saw, Belgium beats France 1-0. See who the goal scorer was. It's Divock Origi of all players. Of course it's Divock Origi. It's not, Lukaku, De Bruyne. It's Divock freaking Origi who wins the game for Belgium. They actually completely FM'd France. France were the better team. 15 shots, 4 on target. I mean, they both only had 4 shots on target. France was just... Martial was terrible. That's not great. So was Griezmann. Griezmann was terrible. Camavinga played a really good game, so that's impressive. He played in central midfield as a... I don't know if he played a deep line playmaker or what he played there, but... It's good to see him do well, but yeah, I think France probably deserved that, but Belgium wins the World Cup. Mbappe ties with Berardi for the top goal scorer. Top average rating is Timo Werner, followed by Luis Diaz, who is a player for Porto. 19 dribbling, 17. He is pretty dang good. 25-year-old Colombian. Pellegrini with the most assists. Man of the matches, Sterling, Messi, and Hazard. Courtois, Lloris, and Ter Stegen, all with clean sheets. I think Lloris has gone to Real Madrid. I remember I saw him leaving Tottenham. They've gone to Real Madrid, of all places. I'm guessing to be a backup. We didn't really need him. We've got a fine backup in, not Hernandez. What's his name? In Henderson. We've got a fine backup in Henderson. So that's all I wanted to show you. Let's get into this game against Chelsea. This is the squad I think I'm going to go with. Tuanzebe keeps his spot. He's still been in pretty good form. Dodo at right back. Kimmich, I want to give him game time. He's a little bit tired, so that's unfortunate, but so is Camavinga. And I definitely don't want to play James Garner in this game, so I'm gonna risk Kimmich. Hernandez on the left. Bruno Fernandes is also tired, but I don't really want to start Pereira, and Van de Beek is also tired, so I'm going with Fernandes and Pogba. Then Rashford and Haaland seem to be the in-form strike partnership. Rashford with 2 very good games in a row, a 9.3 and a 7.9. So I'm definitely trusting him to do well this game. He's on a yellow card away from suspension, so that's not ideal, but I still think it's worth playing him in this game. I don't know who we'll get in the next round, but they might not be harder than Chelsea, so if I'm going to use them, I'm going to use them now. Greenwood on the bench. Kind of the rest of the bench is to be expected, but let's get into this game. Everyone's still trying to get their match sharpness coming back from the World Cup. Obviously, players like Skriniar didn't go. Dodo, they went out in the group stage, so he had quite a bit of... He did go to the World Cup with Brazil, but obviously they went out in the group stage, so he was out for quite a bit. Holland, I don't think they made it out of the group stage, right? Norway, I think, lost in the group stage, so he didn't play for a little bit. So we've got to get match sharpness up, but let's play this game against Chelsea. They have the same problems we have. They shouldn't be fully match sharp for this game either. They're going with a 3 at the back, it looks like. They're going with our exact same formation we're going with. With Felipe Van Hoosden and Zuma at the back. James and Azpilicueta on the wings. Bakayoko is a deep line, or I guess a defensive midfielder. Mount and Havertz at center mid. And Darwin Nunez and Mauro Icardi up top. That's a pretty good strike partnership. Nunez is up there for goals scored in the Premier League so far, so he can't be trifled with. I'm going to say the media have given you a lot of credit lately, so go out there and put on a worthy display. Tell them I have faith. Bruno Fernandes is aggressive. Everyone's motivated by the faith. It's not the best weather for football out there today. How do you think the conditions will affect your performance? My players can adapt to any situation. A little bit of weather isn't going to affect us. You can make a real statement about your intentions in this match and go on the attack from the first whistle. How will you approach this game? My primary focus is to make sure things are tight at our own end. I'm definitely going with our more balanced tactic for this game. I think it fits the team better. Kimmich is better as a deep line playmaker on defend than he is as a regista, so it fits the team better. And it's more defensively sound against a good Chelsea squad. So that's what I'm going with. I could put the complete wingbacks on attack since they only have wingbacks. I don't really have to worry about them getting too far forward because they're not really going to get doubled over on the wings. So if we're not creating much, that's a quick change I'll quickly make. But let's see how we start this game. As Pogba gets a chance and he smashes one off of, I don't know who that was, off of one of their defenders. I don't think it's Van Houston. It is Van Houston, I think. Yeah, Van Houston. I think they smashed it off of him and into the back of the net. Let's see this. I think it hits Van. Yep, right into Van Houston, but it was going on target, so it counts as a Paul Pogba goal. Good start to the game. After only 8 minutes, we are 1-0 up. We have another throw-in. Not a very good one. Throw-ins are just not good anymore. That's disappointing. I got so many goals from throw-ins before they patched them. But a nice ball over the top for Rashford, and he gets blocked. A good tackle by Azpilicueta. That was what you expect from a player as seasoned as Azpilicueta. You expect that kind of tackle. He's going to be a hard man to get past down this wing. But I trust Dodo. Dodo's got the pace to completely burn him. Azpilicueta surely doesn't have very much pace anymore, so he's got the advantage there. I think is this Azpilicueta now? And he just completely smokes him, gets a ball in, and it bounces around and eventually is a nice save by Edouard Mendy. Said almost an own goal by Reece James, so it must have bounced off of Reece James and Mendy made the save. And the corner goes right to Mendy's arms, hands specifically. Caught it with his hands, obviously. We're having a pretty decent start to the game so far. Not a whole lot of shots, but we're controlling everything. Chelsea have not had a shot yet. Pretty sure the last time we played them, they only had one shot all game. So if we can do the same thing this game, they played the same formation, I'm pretty sure. So our formation, I mean, we obviously have the more talent because two formations that are exact same go up against each other. You kind of rely on talent to get you by to be the better team. And so I think that proves that we have the better talent in this matchup. Chelsea do have more shots this game. They have 3 shots so far, but only one on top. And I've got 5 shots. It just said 3. Literally just said 3 before it went to halftime. That is weird. Suddenly we have 10 shots. They have 5 shots. Okay. We are doing all right, but I'm not good enough. I want to tell them not to be complacent. I'm not going to, completely, dig them off, because it's been a decent performance against a very good Chelsea squad. So I'm going to have faith in them to see this out. Bruno Fernandes is exhausted and on a yellow. He gets so many yellow cards. I think I'm going to bring on Donny van de Beek. Take off Bruno. Give Donny here 25 minutes. Should be fine for that. He's a little bit tired, but he should be fine for 25 minutes. As Dodo just comes flying down this wing, using all of his physical ability, just completely smokes everyone down the wing, pulls it back for Van de Beek. Keeps the ball from a couple tackles, but Bakayoko eventually wins it off from him. And Cardi's going to head it down only to Van de Beek, into Paul Pogba. Pogba looking for a nice ball to Rashford, and Rashford finds the back of the net. What a pass by Paul Pogba. He makes that attack. He makes that goal happen. It says it's a Mauro Icardi error. I guess that's because of his header that went right to Van de Beek, but this is all because of a beautiful pass by Paul Pogba. Great timing of the pass. Nice ball through, and Rashford with a good first touch and a good finish. Rashford is in great form. That is good to see. He was the only bright spot for our attackers last year. And he's been a little bit quiet so far this year, but he's finally, really kicked it up into gear the last month. So it's good to see him playing well. Him and Mason Greenwood are both doing all right. So it's good to have plenty of strikers that we can count on in this game. I'm going to take Kimmich off. He's a little bit tired. He was tired coming into this game, so I'm going to bring on Camavinga. And Pogba's pretty tired, but he's had a very good game so far. I don't know if I want to take him off. De Gea's had another pretty good game. 2 pretty good games in a row from David De Gea's. Haaland, I thought that was in. I thought that was in for sure. He puts it just over. Usually expect Haaland to find the back of the net there, but not quite this time. They have moved to a 4-3-3, looking to get back into this game. I don't know if the best way to get into the game is taking off a striker. They actually moved Werner onto the right wing. Moved Havertz onto the left wing. Yeah, Caligari's a winger / midfielder, so he can play all right there. Playing Zuma at right back, though. That's a little interesting. In terms of subs I can make, no one's having a particularly bad game other than Erling Haaland. I think I'll just take off Pogba, give him a rest. Want to be fit for next game. I don't remember who we have next game, but I want to be fit for that game if he can be. I'm going to praise the team. They've played pretty well. Fully deserved the victory. Hasn't been the most dominant performance. It wasn't as dominant as the league game, but we got what we needed. We got the 2 goals. We've been solid defensively. This has been a great defensive team so far this season. I'm very happy with our center backs. That might be a penalty. It didn't look like a penalty to me. It looked like he won the ball. So this might actually be one of those that isn't actually a penalty. Let's see. No penalty. I was right. I didn't think it was, and it wasn't. But it doesn't really matter. The game is pretty much over. There's only 10 seconds left. They're not coming back. So the whistle should be blowing any time now. And we get the victory against Chelsea and advance to the semifinal of the EFL Cup. Looking to win it back-to-back seasons. Rashford with very good game. Dodo with a very good game. He was dominant down that wing. De Gea with another great game. Didn't allow a single goal. 6 shots on target, and he didn't allow a single goal from him. We had 1 more shot on target and 2 more goals. So De Gea definitely outperformed Eduard Mendy. So a good game from us. They didn't make any subs. Okay, that's interesting. But no, they didn't make subs because Caligari didn't start. I don't know why it's not showing any subs here, but it's showing our subs. I'm going to say a very nice victory. Well done. I'm happy with that. I'm not thrilled, but I'm happy. You have once again come up with a supremely impressive victory. What is your reaction to this result? I thought we played very well, and it's satisfying to be able to say that. Wasn't the most dominant performance from us, like I said, but still, it's a good performance. Bristol City are in the mud. 2 points from 17 games. That negative 43 goal difference. That is hard to do. I don't think Bristol City are ready for the Premier League. I'm just going to throw that out there. Good gosh. We haven't even played them yet. We play them later, very much later on. Actually, no, it's just coming up. The 24th of January, we play Bristol City and Brentford back-to-back, and Barnsley, so that's going to be, and Fulham. That is a pretty easy stretch of games. Leeds are decent. They're actually not doing very well this season, though. Then Barnsley, Bristol City, Brentford, Fulham, then Arsenal. Then it gets difficult. Arsenal, Man City, Dortmund. So in terms of next episode, EFL quarterfinals coming up. I don't think, or semifinal. I don't think I'm going to show that. I'm not going to show this stretch of games for sure. I'll probably come back for Man City, Dortmund. I kind of want to show the second leg of the Dortmund game. I'll come back from Man City Dortmund, and if the Dortmund game is still in contention for the second leg, I'll come back for Dortmund's second leg, and I don't know who else. Maybe Aston Villa. They're doing all right this season. They did really well last season. They made the Europa League, I believe. So, how'd they do in the Europa League? Looks like they made it out of the group stage, I think. They made it out of the group stage, second in the group. They've been drawn. They have Hertha Berlin. That's going to be tough. Hertha Berlin in the first knockout round. That is going to be a tough draw for them. Hertha are a pretty good team with a lot of money to go through. So, yeah, that's going to be hard. But I'll see you next time for Man City Dortmund. If you've made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. Links to all my socials are also in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.